Hello, and happy Thursday, everyone. Come on in. It's Charlotte here. Welcome to my home. We are doing this week's index card, and I think we're on week 15, but I'm not positive about that. I'm going to have to double check. I decided to do an envelope, and so I did some decoupage, and this is what I came up with. Really cute. It's got some decoupage, it's got some washi tape, some sewn-on buttons, and I used upholstery thread to tie this off. And I probably could cut this a bit, but this is what we're going to do together today. So, let's get started. We have two index cards, and we've got a back and we've got a front. And what I did, because these are so thin, I took book pages and glued them together and wanted just to strengthen this a little bit. So I've got a book page here, and what I'm going to do, I can see I don't have a glue stick, which is what I used, so we are going to be improvising and using this. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not too worried about this because it is going to get sewn, but I want to just strengthen the front a little bit because it is going to be an envelope. I don't want there to be any issue with anything that could tear. And so that's why I'm putting a book lining, a book page lining on the inside. And let's see if instead of cutting this, I can tear this. I see I've still got a little bit of book page on there, but I'm not going to worry about this right now. So this would be our front, and I think let's go, because we need some Mod Podge drying time. Why don't we go ahead and Mod Podge this, and then I will create the flap. So Mod Podge. Yes, usually I use Collage Podge, but I've got so little of this left, I thought, let's just use this up. So we are going to put a couple pieces of napkin on here, and as I usually do, I go ahead and try to get a little bit pre-done so the video doesn't have to be so long. And I'm just going to go over this with the Mod Podge, get our napkin down. Try to smooth it out as best as you can. And then we will move on to this little piece right here. It's kind of going to fit right in there. So let's do that. Hopefully Thursday is a good day for everyone, that you're having good weather and life is treating you well. I know, you never know what you're going to get when you get up. Rain, sun, wind, snow. You never know. So I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge over this and put it aside to dry while we do the back liner and the envelope flap. And hopefully, with any luck, this will be dry and we can move on to the next step without me having to get the dryer out. I am keeping my fingers crossed that we do not need the dryer. So maybe under the lamp, that will help that. Then I have my back, and I want my lined index card on the back so that if you wanted to journal, like this one is here, you could still just go ahead and journal on that. Unfortunately, my book pages don't have the width that I need. That's just how life sometimes is. It would be great if they could go this way, but they can't. They need to go this way. And as you can see, there's not really enough to do this whole thing and have a flap. So what I'm going to do is take this piece here, and I am just going to put it like this. Not really caring about this because we are going to stitch. So I'm not too worried about that part right there. At least I know that my my inside will have a lining on it. And that's what I want. Just that extra assurance that my card will not rip. So I'm going to kind of center it, hoping that when I do stitch, I will catch both parts of that. So now what I have to worry about is my flap. And even if I fold this way, it won't work. If I fold it this way, I'm going to get a flap. I'm not going to get a lot of a flap, but you know, it might be enough. So let's try that. Let's fold this. And see if that might work. So what I'm going to do is glue this down, glue this together, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue all the way to the end, even though I know I'm not going to need all that, because possibly what I cut off can be a tag, something like that. I am going to glue this right down like that. You'll see it's going to make sense in just a second. I think I need to actually, as I'm looking at this, I'm remembering what I did. And that's not going to work right there. I need this other little piece because I'm not going to come down far enough to get all this. That's what I did. Because otherwise there's no lining on this. So we need to get this all covered up. And then just to make sure that this right here is not an issue, I am going to put a piece of masking tape so that if this gets used and you're taking something in and out of it, nothing is going to get caught on any of these seams. That's what I needed to do. Okay, now we're going to go and glue this part down. Just like that. Turn it over, see if we can tell if we're pretty even. So we're not going to worry about that. And let's go ahead and put a little more masking tape on because it looks like right here we've got an issue. So let's do this. You know, sometimes things don't go exactly the way you want them to go, and you just have to improvise. You just have to make it work. And we've got a tear there, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, what are we going to do about that? we will do something about that. But right now, we need a flap. And I'm thinking our flap, that looks pretty good as a flap. Right there like that. So let me, and here is where we have our tear. So let's go ahead and get our distressing out. Take care of this. And then we'll worry about that when we see what we're going to do. Now, I think on the other one I rounded the corners. I don't have the chomper over here, the corner chomp. So I'm not going to worry too much about doing that here. So we've got that. So obviously this is an issue right here. So I think I will Mod Podge something on that. Let's see where we are on this. This feels pretty good. So let's trim this off. Okay, and we want to I am pretty sure on the last one I did a little, took out just a little bit like that. And we've got to sew the buttons on before we stitch it together. Because otherwise, if we stitch it together, how are we going to get our fingers in there to get those buttons sewn? So let's see what we're going to have. So I put this on here like this. Just like that. Here is our flap. And so I know we want to collage page this on here. So why don't we do that? And then see what we're gonna do to fix that little spot. This spot right there. So I'll put this on here, maybe like that. Let's go over this. This is going to have to dry before we can put our button on. But let's take a tiny bit of napkin. Put something over here. Hopefully I'm on camera. Just like that, so we don't have all that white space. And then on this piece here, we'll see if this is gonna work. if I just, it's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on. Then we'll wrap that around to this side and see what happens. Maybe I will put just a touch of masking tape on that. Just a little touch like that. And then some Mod Podge. And let's just take this and fold this over like that. See if this will work. Hopefully this will work and it won't be an issue. A little like that. Just a little bit more on the front. And now put this to dry. And let's think about where we want our button on this piece right here. So I have the larger button down here, and it really is just a little bit below. We'll put her right there. See if I have enough thread on here. We need a knot. And we're going to sew this button on right here, hopefully. Didn't leave much of a knot. Where'd I go? Hold this. Try not to stick myself. That's always fun. So we just go in here maybe 3 or 4 times across. So that would be 3, and once more that way. And then the opposite way. Here we go. Couple more times. Okay, once more. Then we'll make a knot. And don't worry about what this looks like, because we are going to cover it up with a piece of masking tape, which you would want to do because if you're going to use this envelope, you wouldn't want anything to be hitting this when you're using the envelope. So I tend to take just a tiny touch of glue, just to make sure that none of that and the knots are going anywhere. Take a strip of masking tape and just adhere it down just like that. And that way, you don't have to, you could use Scotch tape, packing tape, you could use washi tape. You know, if you have washi tape that you don't like, might as well use it up. So you've got that, and so it's about as smooth a surface as you're going to get. So if you go to put tags or anything in here, you're not going to have to worry too much about that. And then of course we are going to need to thread this needle, and I'm hoping the top is dry enough to be able to sew the button on. There we go. Make a bigger knot. There we go. All right, let's hope now that this is dry enough to be able to see where our button needs to go. So we're going to put a button about right there. And if you don't have embroidery thread, or upholstery thread, it's not embroidery thread, but you could use embroidery thread to make your the thread on your closure. You could very easily use embroidery thread. And this is not entirely dry. You can feel it. It's still a little bit damp. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stitch this on camera because it does need drying time, but I will show you the other one. We will put it together. The only thing that will be missing is the stitching, and that's not going to be that big a deal. Now, because this is a lid, I don't want embroidery, or not embroidery, I don't want masking tape on here because this is the lid of the envelope. So what I did in the first one is I used washi tape so that when you lift it, you have something really pretty to see and not masking tape. So we're going to cut this. And then we're going to get our washi tape. And I just got this from the Washi Shop, thewashishop.com. And so I like to have that seal. So let's get that seal. And the cool stuff about this washi tape is it's peel and stick. So I like that. Just peel and stick. So I think it probably will be stronger than many of the washi tapes. And we're just going to put this over here like that. Cut this off. And I'm hoping this is going to work, but I might go ahead and put, just because if I had my bone folder here, I would be able to straighten this out better. Let me go ahead and do that. Let's stick. I'm very nervous about that, so I think what I'm going to do is I'll keep this one, the giveaway. I will give away the other one. And then that way, this is mine to deal with as far as, let me see if I'm going to be able to get this off of here. Okay, there we go. I'm thinking I am just going to put washi right over here. Just right over this because I don't trust that. Just like that. And it is patched. And there we go. And you really can't tell. It is good, just like that. So there's that part. And then we're going to take and just put enough glue on here to get this together. And then I am going to show you, because I don't want to do the stitching and have you sit here and wait for that, I am going to show you how you will do your upholstery or your cording or whatever whatever that's going to be. I'm just going to put just a tiny bit on here to try to get it to stay together so that I can take it to the machine. It's going to go like that, just like that. And then let's just pretend that this is stitched, and I would stitch all around the whole thing. So let's pretend this is stitched, and then I have this upholstery thread. I'm just going to take a piece off of, and I'm going to take it around this, and I'm going to tie a knot. Maybe I'm going to tie a knot. Let's put it this way. I plan on tying a knot. Oh my goodness. Sometimes things just, why do they have to be hard? It's just a knot. It's just a, come on, let's just tie a knot. That's all it is. Go again. And once more. Just like that. Then we're going to cut this tail off because you don't need it. Don't need that at all. And there you go. You're going to take what's left over and you're just going to create a figure 8 right here, just like this. However many times you want to do that. And there you've got just a really cute envelope, and you've got plenty of journal space on the back to write. So all this needs, as you can see on this one, I went all around the whole thing. So guys, I mean, you could do so much more to this. You could, I thought about texture paste and painting. I thought about, you could add all sorts of stuff to the front. You could take and add a really, really cute butterfly. You could do lots to that. So I hope that this has given you some inspiration, and that you will, when you look at your index cards, you'll look at them a little bit differently and see what they're actually capable of doing for you. So have a really, really great rest of your Thursday, everyone, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.